about it, the more I look at this image, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Hey guys. So in today's video, I'm going to be jumping back to a brand that I tried for the first time recently. No, it is not Ravensburger, and it is for sure not one of my budget puzzles that I picked up from Dollar Tree. This puzzle brand is one that I actually couldn't stop thinking about when I was completing those last two puzzle sets. I couldn't help but think about my first fantastic puzzling experience with the brand Pintoo. Hit that like button if you're a fan of Pintoo puzzles. And if you've completed any new sets from them recently, let me know down below which ones they were. So Pintoo was nice enough to shoot another email to me telling me, hey, go pick another puzzle. And I was like, okay. I immediately jumped on their website and ended up picking out this beauty. And this one is called Light of Peace. The artist is Abraham Hunter. It is 1,000 pieces and it is 58.8 by 37.8 centimeters when it's completed. But they are made out of premium plastic. They are easy to move around. They absolutely do not fall apart when they're picked up. There is no glue required, and they have water-resistant printing. And another fantastic thing about Pintoo puzzles is that all their puzzle pieces are a unique shape. So it kind of throws in that extra challenge for you. And aside from all that good stuff, if you look on Pintoo's website, and I'm going to leave their link down below to their store, but they do also sell their own puzzle frames. Now let's talk about this image here real quick. Yes, absolutely, Pintoo has tons of beautiful images, but this one seriously caught my attention. Because you know that one of the things that I would absolutely love is having a house that looks like this in front of a lake. On top of that, I got my own lighthouse. And you know I'm gonna have my boat too. This house is so secluded. There's nothing around it except beautiful trees and what I'm guessing is the ocean or a lake. I don't know. It's absolutely beautiful. All the lights are on, so you know I'm at home. It's looking pretty late now, so I'm probably just cleaning up the house, getting it ready before I go to bed. I really don't like to wake up the next day to a messy house. And then maybe right before I go to sleep, I'll take a peek out at one of my windows here and just admire the scenery. What could be more peaceful than that? As soon as I saw it, I knew it was the one. I also knew as soon as I saw it that this puzzle was absolutely gonna destroy me. I mean, look at the color scheme here. Look at the sky. Look at the water. This is gonna be hard. Now that I think about it, the more I look at this image, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? This may actually end up being one of my hardest puzzles yet. The only question is, will it be harder than my Haunted Mansion puzzle? I don't know, we shall see, right? But anyways, let's think of a plan here real quick. I feel like I can easily set a tray aside for pieces that have details from the lighthouse, the house itself, the boats. Then maybe we could set another tray out, obviously, for the trees and the bushes. Maybe one for the path and the fencing. My biggest concern is how in the world am I gonna sort out pieces for the sky and the water? Probably I can maybe make out pieces that have the ripple effect of the water. Once we do our best sorting this puzzle out, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna immediately attack the trays that have the pieces with the buildings, the boats, and the trees. I think in that order specifically, that's probably gonna give me a good head start. And then from then on, we'll go into the real madness. I'm pretty sure that as I go through this completion process, I'm gonna have to resort my pieces multiple times. But yeah, this image is gonna kick my butt. And then I also want to show you how to take your old Pintoo puzzle out of the picture frame and put a new one in. So as you can see, I've already taken the plastic wrap off this just so that it wasn't reflecting light from my window. But let's open this up and let's see what kind of torture I have subjected myself to. All right, so just like last time, I have everything in a plastic bag here. And then we have our white border pieces in a separate bag, which makes life a lot easier because now you don't have to sort these. They're all set up for you, as well as the corners are all separated as well. We'll put that to the side. Now again, Pintoo does not include a poster with it, but I mean, the front of the box is sufficient enough, really. I mean, you can't get much better detail than that. Oh my God, this is gonna be so hard. Put that box to the side and let's open up our puzzle pieces. Oh, listen to that. The sound of plastic pieces. And as I said before, no dust. So the edge pieces are not true edge pieces in terms of the shape of the piece. What we have is half the image and half of the white print. So that's how you know you have an edge piece with the Pintoo puzzles. As you can see, the image print is very clear in terms of showing off the detail. Oh, I dropped a piece. The color is very vibrant. Glare wasn't really a huge issue in my last Pintoo puzzle, and I don't think it's going to really be an issue with this one as well. But then again, you know, usually that has to do with mostly my lighting issue or lack thereof. Compared to other puzzle brands, Pintoo pieces are a lot smaller, pretty much the size of a penny. So yeah, this is kind of smaller than what I typically like to do or put together. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest, the quality and experience in general really makes up for the size of the piece. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. I can't wait to start this. I can't wait to complete it, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like in my frame. So let's get started. All right, well, I don't know if that was easier or harder than I expected. So with the huge pile in front of me, what I basically did was to take little handfuls one at a time, flipped all the pieces print side up, and then quickly made a decision as to where each piece should go. So first tray is obviously the edge pieces, which of course are the easiest ones to sort. Second tray, I have green pieces. In another tray here, I know there's not much, but I kind of just separated all the pieces, had parts of the boat. Next tray is pieces for the house and the lighthouse. Now next is where it got extremely tricky. So for one tray here, we have what looked like to be pieces that have the reflections on the water. So those weren't too hard to decipher. Basically, I kind of looked for any of the pieces that had kind of like that ripple effect on them. And that same concept kind of went along with the blue pieces, which is pretty much 90% of this puzzle. To kind of decipher what the water pieces were, I took whatever looked like had kind of like a ripple effect on them, like the water ripples on it. And then over here, obviously the biggest pile is anything I thought that belonged to the sky in general. Now, let's move on. So after that sorting was done, I immediately started with the edge pieces. And once that was done, I started with what I figured would be the easiest step, which was piecing together the house, the lighthouse, the boat, the path, and the trees. So now we are on to what I consider the most challenging part of this puzzle. And I knew this was going to happen. But as you can see, we've got all the pretty much obvious areas all sorted out. And that was actually not too hard. Even the trees and whatnot, that was actually pretty easy. But yeah, now we are on to the water and the sky. And I kind of have, as you can see so far, a bit of a mess going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of reorganize all these pieces and maybe start grouping certain shapes together. So far what I don't know if you can tell, but what I'm trying to do is trying to group things by similar colors. I was able to get some little sections completed as I was, you know, kind of separating some by colors already, but I think we need to just kind of get a little bit more serious because we have all these very similar looking pieces that really need to be resorted again and kind of try to break it down a bit more. So these are more of the cloud pieces here, and over here are just basically like blue with stars. You know, it's confusing. I really need to get busy with this, especially since I'm working in the daytime right now, so I have very good light coming from behind me. So Let's continue. So obviously this whole side of the puzzle was very challenging, and it took several more resorts in order to get through it, which really didn't surprise me. Now, in terms of negatives with this particular set, really the only thing I can say is that it was very challenging. And really that's not even a negative thing, because I really loved this image so much. But I do know that these types of images are not for everyone. So if it is not, then don't do this one, because it's hard. The time just won't be worth it to you. Now, if I really had to list another negative in terms of this set or Pintoo puzzle, well, I know I said before there's no puzzle dust with these sets, and there isn't, but there are actually what looks like to be little plastic stringy bits. But it's not a lot or anything. At least it wasn't in my set, but it is for sure much easier to clean up than the dust you get from puzzle board. Definitely way easier than cleaning up after a Ravensburger. Who said that? Honestly, that's really all I can come up with in terms of negatives for this set or Pintoo in general. But yeah, there are way more positives when working with a Pintoo set. Now, I know I said this earlier, but I could not stop thinking about my first experience with Pintoo while I was working on my last two sets. This is really something special, and I've yet to work on another brand that gives me the same experience. One of my favorite things about Pintoo is that seriously satisfying snap you hear whenever you pop a piece in, and you know that I just had to make another snapping montage. That's some good stuff, man. You know that piece is not going anywhere, and that when you're completely done with this set, you're going to be able to hold it up and flap it around a few times. I don't know why you do that, but it can if you want it to. Okay, I'll admit, I did flap it a little bit early on just to see what would happen, and part of the edging did fall off. But of course it did. The puzzle wasn't even completed on that side. All I did was pop that sucker right back in with just two pieces, and moved right along with my work. The image print on these pieces is fantastic. It is clear, the colors are vibrant, and what is also great about this is that there is no risk of the print peeling off or getting damaged in any way. You know, unless you decide to take something sharp and scratch away at it, but seriously, what's got into you? Why would you do something like that? And if you've really lost your mind and decided to throw a drink at this, it's alright, it's waterproof too. But please, no need to do that either. I have to say, I don't seem to really have an issue with glare on these sets at all, and I don't know if it's because of the way they are finished, because they don't seem to have a thick glossy coating on them or anything. It's more on the matte side, or if it's just my lighting. But really, I wasn't fighting with my lighting at all. This puzzle took me about 11 hours to complete. And really, that time frame does not surprise me, because this puzzle was hard. Was it my hardest puzzle yet? Well, no, but it for sure was my second hardest puzzle. It still didn't beat the Haunted Mansion puzzle, which truly was a nightmare, and took me way longer, so long that I completely gave up keeping track of my time. And if you haven't seen my Haunted Mansion video, I'm gonna leave a link for that one down below too, so you could see how horrifying that was for me. So what I had to do to finally complete this puzzle was really just keep resorting, keep regrouping similar color tones, whatever I can think of together, and piece it as best as I could. It for sure needed a lot of time and patience, which tend to be two things that I don't usually have, but again, I wanted to see this puzzle on my wall. So once the main image was completed, I added the white border pieces that Pintoo provide in a separate bag, and I got straight into switching out my last Pintoo set from the frame. And it's really easy to do. You just have to push in the buttons on the side that you want to disconnect, Slide your old puzzle out and slide your puzzle into the grooves of the frame. Push that panel back in till it locks in place, then hang that beauty up and admire it for hours. If you have the time, that is. I love Pintoo puzzles, and I highly recommend them. If you haven't tried any of these awesome sets, be sure to check out their store. And I'll leave a link down below so you can browse and pick one up for yourself and fill your ears with satisfying snapping sounds. And pretty soon I'm also going to be trying out some of their 3D puzzles, so if you are new here, be sure to subscribe so that you can catch me putting those together. Well guys, thank you for watching. Hope you're all doing well, and I will see you in the next one.